What if I told you the government is about to give every newborn baby in America $1,000 to start investing, and that this money could grow over $200,000 by age 18, potentially more than 1.4 million by retirement, with zero additional contributions? Well, that's exactly what's happening here in 2026 with the new Trump accounts for children. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're breaking down everything you need to know about this brand new children's savings account that's causing quite a stir. If you're a parent, grandparent, or planning to have kids, you absolutely need to watch this entire video. So, part one, what are the Trump accounts? So, first things first, what exactly are these Trump accounts? Despite the name, these are actually specialized retirement accounts for kids. Think of them like a traditional IRA, but designed specifically for children under age 18. Here's the game changer. The U.S. Treasury Department is putting in $1,000 into these accounts for free. That's right, completely free money from the government to jumpstart your child's investment journey. Now, this isn't just cash sitting in a bank account. This money gets invested in low-cost index funds tracking the U.S. stock market, and it grows tax-deferred until your child withdraws it. So who's eligible? Let's talk about who can get these accounts. Any child under 18 with a social security number can have one open for them. But here's the catch for the free $1,000. Your child needs to be born between January 1st, 2025 and December 31st, 2028, and they need to be U.S. citizens. So if you're expecting a baby in the next few years, this is a huge news for you. If you already have older kids, they can still get the account just without the initial government contribution. So the money breakdown. Now let's talk about who can put money into these accounts because it's just not the government. Here's how the contribution limits work. There's a total maximum of $5,000 per year that can go into these accounts from all sources combined. That's until the child turns 18. That's after tax-free, so you don't get a tax deduction for it. So let's say an employer contributes $1,000 for your child. That means parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, basically any family member or friend can contribute the remaining $4,000 to hit that $5,000 annual max. But here's what's really interesting. Employers can contribute up to $2,500 for their employees' kids. So some major companies have already announced they're going to be matching. Dell have talked about $1,000. And get this, charities can contribute too, as long as they do it equally for all kids in a certain area or age group. But remember, all these contributions count toward that $5,000 annual limit. Investment rules. So where does this money actually get invested? The rules are pretty specific here. Everything has to go into a low-cost mutual fund or ETF that tracks U.S. stocks. So we're talking expense ratios of 0.1% or less, which is fantastic because high fees are one of the bigger killers of long-term returns. They can't invest in sector-specific funds or individual stocks. It's broad market index funds. All right, the tax situation. So here's where things get interesting with the tax rules. They're definitely more complex than your typical savings account. So let me break this down for you. First thing to know, any contributions you make to these accounts are non-tax deductible. So you're putting in after-tax money. Once your child turns 18, they can access all the money for absolutely anything. But here's where the tax treatment gets tricky based on what they use it for. Let's say they just take the original $1,000 government money plus whatever is grown to use it for college. They'll pay regular federal income taxes on that entire withdrawal, both the original $1,000 and any investment gains. But if they use that same money to buy a car, go on vacation, basically anything that's not educator related, they'll pay those same income taxes plus a 10% penalty on top. Now, here's where the real important part. If they want to avoid penalties for non-education expenses, they'd have to wait until age 59 and a half. At that point, they can use the money for anything and only pay income taxes, no penalties. But that means letting the account sit for decades. And here's where it gets really complicated. If you've added your own money to the account, every withdrawal becomes partially taxable. The government treats that original $1,000 as seed money, as earnings. So even if your own after-tax contributions get mixed up in the complex formula. So unlike in a Roth IRA where you can take out your contributions first, with these accounts, everything gets blended together. Next, should you get one? So the big question is, should you actually get one of these accounts for your child? For the free $1,000, absolutely. There's no reason not to take free money from the government that can grow tax deferred for decades. But should you add your own money for these accounts? That's where it gets more nuanced. Most financial experts I've talked to say that for most families, you're probably better off with a 529 college savings plan for education expenses or custodial Roth IRA once your child starts earning income. These Trump accounts really make the most sense for wealthy families who have already maxed out their other savings options or parents who specifically want to kickstart their very young child's retirement savings. The bigger picture. So let's zoom out for a second. This program is going to cost the government about $15 billion through 2034. That's massive investment, getting kids to start investing early. But here's the real kicker. We're talking about the power of compound interest over decades. That initial $1,000 could potentially grow to over $200,000 by the time your child turns 18. If they leave it alone until retirement, we could be looking at over $1.4 million from just the initial $5,000 government contribution, plus maxing out the $5,000 per year. And honestly, the psychology here might just be as important as the money. Imagine an 18-year-old who's watched their account grow from $1,000 to potentially $200,000 over the years. They're very much likely to understand that incredible power of compound interest and continue investing rather than just cashing out. This could be a generation that finally breaks the cycle of America not saving enough for retirement. So, can we actually get these accounts? They're launching in 2026 with contributions starting July of that year. The Treasury Department will oversee the program, but you'll actually open accounts through banks and other financial institutions. So if you're expecting a baby or have young kids, start researching which bank and brokerage will offer these accounts. You'll want to find one that is a good online platform and excellent customer service. So what do you think about these new Trump accounts? Are you planning to get one for your kids? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks again for watching.